Today's video is brought to you by StoryboardThat.com. Please visit TeacherCast.net/StoryboardThat for a limited time offer. Network. Want to bring on our guest. He is certainly no stranger to the TeacherCast Network, Mr. Aaron Sherman. Aaron, welcome. How are you today?
I'm great. Just super excited to be spending time with all of you, talking about Storyboard That and how you can use it in your classrooms.
Well, we want to certainly say two things. First of all, thank you for coming on. And also, you know, we've had a couple of questions here in the last couple of weeks about Storyboard That, what it can do, why it's important. How are so many teachers out there harnessing the use of storyboards for more than just the concept of creating storyboards? So we're going to be talking about all those. We've got some great demonstrations. Aaron, but first, let me ask you, what is StoryboardThat.com? Let me say that one more time for our sponsor, StoryboardThat.com. Go ahead, Aaron.
Well, StoryboardThat.com, it's the world's best storyboard creator. We've been at this for over 2 years, and in that time, over 250,000 storyboards have been created around the world in pretty much every known written language. And it's just an amazing site for people to come to and storyboard whatever you want. In the education space, we see lots of vocabulary, spelling, practicing English, doing book reports, practicing a foreign language, and just every possible subject you could ever imagine. We see it nonstop every day, and it's just been an amazing trip for the entire team.
And it is interesting that you say that. Of course, we can go over to your website, StoryboardThat.com, and as you said, it can be used for everything. I know even this year I was using it in our orchestra classroom. We were doing some storyboards for various music history topics and things like that. Why don't you take us through a little tour of Storyboard That?
Sure. Am I switching to a screen sharing here, or?
Sure.
So right now you can see I'm in the teacher dashboard. I created a test account for today's show, and I wanted to show off a few examples. And what we're going to do in this example is a fun thing about the difference between desert or dessert. And so this is a storyboard we're going to create a little bit later, and you can see it's just practicing the vocabulary of desert versus dessert. So before we get there, let's talk about how a teacher might want to do this. And first, a teacher might want to create a simple storyboard that just explains, create a storyboard about desert versus dessert, and use the word desert in the top, use the word dessert in the bottom. And so I'm going to click Make Visible to Classroom. The next thing I need to do is add some users to my classroom. So I'm going to click on Manage My Classroom, and I'm going to quickly add a new student. We're going to call this student TeacherCast Student, and we'll just make their display name the same, and their password's passwords if anyone wants to hack into this account. Very easy. And you can see just like that I've now added a student to my classroom. So I'm going to log off as my teacher, and I'm going to log on as the TeacherCast student. And right now, I can click on Class Storyboards, and I can see that my teacher has already left me a storyboard. Is everyone with me so far?
Yeah, very cool.
And so I'm in here. I see the storyboard. I'm going to hit Copy. And since I don't need this text anymore, I'm just going to get rid of these boxes. And I have the advantage of I've thought about this a little bit of time. I spent a lot of time today trying to remember the difference between desert and desserts. You laugh, but I had to check to make sure I had the correct spelling, because I would have been pretty embarrassed if
it's important.
I got it wrong in this webcast. And what you see I'm doing now is I'm going through the scenes to go find a couple nice desert scenes. We probably have over 400 scenes and about 500 characters, so it's a pretty in-depth category. We also have over 45,000 images in search. So I'm just going to do a quick search for the word desert. And I see this nice little sphinx here, and I see this camel. So I'm just going to put this camel and the sphinx in my storyboard. And now I want to get a character. And now this is a special character that's in here. It's under Modern, buried. And it's what one of our graphic artists thinks I look like. So this character really is meant to be me. I don't quite see all the resemblance, but maybe once we give him brown hair, my pale skin, and great blue eyes, it looks more like me. And I'm going to quickly choose a speaking pose. So you see here I have not all characters, but a lot of our characters have this quick action. So I can make him sad, make him walking, angry, though I would never be angry. So we'll put him at speaking. And we're going to go into textables. And he's going to say, wow, I found a sphinx in the desert, not desert. And we're just going to move that there, and it looks pretty good, right?
Yeah.
And so for the next cell, I'm going to copy my character, and I'm going to go into the full character poser. So I'm going to click Edit Pose, and you can see I can, rotate my head, change my eyes, expressions, move my arms around. I can sit, I can stand, I can be nervous. That's what happens often. I get very scared. But there's also just 15 of these Insta poses where most of the time you just need a pose. You know what pose you want, but you don't need to figure out how to make it happen. So our artists have figured out that this is the best pose for explaining. Looks pretty good. And you just click that button. And one of the things we wanted in that feature was for it to be very fast and very easy for people to post things. And so we have my camel, and camels are my favorite animal. They can go days without water. And so once again, I'm reinforcing, camels are in desert, practicing my vocab. And my camel's behind here, so I'm just going to, change the layers and bring it to the front. And that's the same way that PowerPoint would work, so it's a very natural way to teach students about the concept of layering images on top of each other. So now, let's continue on with our story. And we're going to make some ice cream stories. So we have this great little diner scene. And we're also going to throw in the picture of a gym. I can quickly find it. There it is. And for our new characters, we're just going to go to the Youngins section. And on the Youngins, we have characters that are pre-posed, so they're super fast to use. And they're your prototypical characters. So we're going to put this girl here. And she's backwards. We're just going to flip her horizontally. And all of a sudden, we now have, let's make her, there we go. Give her a nice little yellow dress, her shoes, and we'll make the guy wear like this. And very quickly, I've now customized them and colored them in. And she's going to say, I love to eat sundaes. I love to have a sundae for dessert. I love to have a sundae on Sunday. And then my spell checker is telling me to capitalize Sunday. And that looks pretty good, but we probably want a picture for Sunday. So this time I'm going to do an upload. Now I cheated, and I went and I already downloaded a picture for Sunday. But you want to be prepared for it.
Yeah.
When you're on display here. So we're just going to rearrange this. And now we have this nice little picture for Sunday. You see I'm just pretty quickly and easily dragging and dropping it. And now for the final scene, we're going to use the silhouettes. Because I find that often there are times when, just a pure silhouette is a better image. And so we have these silhouettes of a little boy and a little girl running. And we're just going to put a little textable here saying, if I want extra dessert, not desert, and it looks like I missed the R, so we'll fix that in a second. I need to go to the gym. And it tells us it's spelled wrong. We fix it. I'm going to hit save. Desert versus dessert storyboard. And in about 30 seconds right there, or about 3-4 minutes, I just created a pretty advanced storyboard, just dragging and dropping using our imagery.